NBA stars who moved out from their NBA team to go on and win an NBA championship. In the minds of the world's greatest basketball stars, winning an NBA title is the ultimate goal. It not only ensures their lasting fame, but also places them among the greatest figures of all time. With the NBA being as competitive as it is, though, this is an accomplishment that is easier said than done. Legacy issues and the pressure to win a championship have driven some NBA players to hook up with other superstars and play for other teams in the hopes of ultimately hoisting the renowned Larry O'Brien Trophy. This player movement has become more visible in recent decades as more players have pushed their way out of their present teams or signed with a contender via the free agency market to better their chances in the NBA championship odds. Such initiatives drew a variety of critiques, but they eventually delivered the greatest payoff of a championship. Recently, we saw James Harden join Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in moving from the Houston Rockets to the Brooklyn Nets in a massive blockbuster deal at the start of the 2020-21 NBA season. On paper, they have all the markings of a championship squad, but we all know how that turned out for the Nets, as James Harden now has his sights on Philadelphia and a chance to play with another superstar, Joel Embiid of the 76ers. Without further ado, here is the list of players who won a title after going to another team.
Let's play full court, baby.
Your go-to channel for the most interesting basketball topics. First on the list is Kevin Garnett. At the height of his career with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett was the team's poster boy and became an icon in the process. He spent 14 years with the squad, during which time he led the team in scoring with an average of 19.8 points and led the team in rebounding with an average of 11 boards per game. In 2004, he was named the most valuable player of the league. However, Garnett's displeasure grew and intensified as a consequence of the team's consistent inability to go far in the playoffs, which prevented the Timberwolves from ever winning a title despite their efforts. As a direct consequence of this, Garnett was ultimately sent to the Boston Celtics in 2007 for Gerald Green, Ryan Gomez, Al Jefferson, Theo Ratliff, and Sebastian Telfair, as well as 2 first-round selection picks. It is important to point out that this would be the largest deal in the history of the NBA, since it would include the exchange of 7 players for a single player. When Garnett joined the Boston Celtics, he became a part of the team's Big Three, along with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. This move brought Garnett further success in his career, when the Celtics defeated the Kobe Bryant-led Los Angeles Lakers in 6 games during the NBA Finals. It was the 17th overall championship for the Boston Celtics. KG's defense and energy were immediately felt as they powered the Celtics to victory, which helped propel Boston to its 17th overall championship. KG earned his first and only NBA title with this achievement, which came after only 1 season with the Boston Celtics at the time. Next on the list is Ray Allen. Ray Allen, like KG, was one of the Big Three on the Celtics team that won the NBA title in 2008. In 2007, the Celtics made a number of high-profile acquisitions, including Allen, who was also one of the team's star players. After establishing himself as a star for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Seattle Supersonics, Allen, along with Glenn Davis, was eventually sent to the Boston Celtics by the Supersonics in exchange for Delonte West, Wally Szczerbiak, and Jeff Green. With his lethal three-point shooting from beyond the arc, the 6'5" All-Star guard was a significant contributor to his team's victory in the NBA Finals over the Los Angeles Lakers. At the time, Allen had made 21 shots from behind the arc, which would later put him in the record books as the player who made the most three-pointers in a final series. In addition, he would hit 7 three-point shots in the championship-clinching game that would seal the win for the Boston Celtics, which matched for the record at the time for the most three-point makes in a singles finals game. Additionally, at the end of the series, Allen had a shooting percentage of 52% from downtown. Consequently, This solidified his status as one of the finest shooters in the history of the NBA. Next on the list is Kevin Durant, 2017 Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant made the move to the Golden State Warriors in the summer of 2016 after spending 9 disappointing years with the Oklahoma City Thunder, during which he was left with nothing to show for his efforts due to the fact that Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green were already part of a formidable team. Kevin Durant's choice to sign with the Warriors was criticized for being a lazy one. The 2014 NBA Most Valuable Player, however, was unaffected by the disparaging comments, and he went on to win back-to-back NBA championships along with back-to-back MVP awards in the finals in 2017 and 2018. For his last year before he left the Warriors, he led them to the NBA Finals once again. But the Golden State Warriors ultimately fell short against the Toronto Raptors after suffering many injuries throughout the series. For someone who had been plagued by injuries in his career, Anthony Davis is one of the superstars who made it to our cut. Anthony Davis, 2020 Los Angeles Lakers. In 2012, New Orleans selected Anthony Davis as their number 1 NBA draft pick. Davis had a phenomenal career with the team, during which he served as both a foundational piece and the public face of the franchise. However, because of the front office's inability to win with him by surrounding him with important players, the Brow wanted to be traded away, and he got his wish during the 2019 offseason. Davis was sent to the Lakers in exchange for 3 players and several first-round draft picks. The 6'10" power forward paired up with LeBron James, and the two anchored the championship quest, which saw the franchise's title drought end following a 6-game victory over the Miami Heat inside the Orlando bubble in the 2020 NBA Finals. Anthony Davis wanted to play for a championship, and he got his wish when the Los Angeles Lakers won the NBA championship in 2020. This is a clear example of how trading for a star player led to a championship. Davis knew that he and LeBron James would make a great team, so he forced a trade to a better team. The New Orleans Pelicans got all-star Brandon Ingram from the trade, so it wasn't all that bad for the team. Anthony Davis's stats in the NBA playoffs are really staggering, with 29.1 points, 9.3 boards, 3.7 dimes, 1.1 steals, and 1.3 blocks per game. He is a force on the court. His overall percentages are 56.7%, 38% from deep, and 82.2% from the charity stripe. Drew Holiday, a former New Orleans Pelican, was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks in November 2020, and they won the NBA championship the following season, thanks in large part to his contributions. This is Holiday's first championship since leaving the Pelicans. Prior to his time spent with the New Orleans Pelicans, Holiday was chosen by the Philadelphia 76ers as the 17th overall choice in the 2009 NBA Draft. Before the Bucks set their sights on the 6'3" point guard, he had spent a combined 11 seasons with the Sixers and the Pelicans. The Bucks were looking for the ideal playmaker to complement Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton, and they believed they had found that person in him. Milwaukee's problems have been overcome as a result of his presence, which finally paved the way for the Milwaukee Bucks to win its second championship and end its 50-year title drought. Dennis Rodman. During his time with the Detroit Pistons and the San Antonio Spurs, Dennis Rodman was an absolute machine when it came to grabbing offensive rebounds. During his time with the Pistons and the Spurs, Rodman won 2 NBA titles, was named to the All-Star team, All-NBA team selections, the All-Defensive team, and was the league leader in rebounds. He also received numerous other accolades. During his tenure with the Spurs, Rodman turned into a problem inside the locker room. Despite the numerous awards and honors he had at the time, CBS Sports reports that as a result of his infamous off-court antics, he was fined and suspended multiple times. In addition to that, his contract was an extra source of financial strain for the Spurs. The Chicago Bulls wanted to beef up its front line after Horace Grant and Bill Cartwright signed with other teams. At the same time that Rodman was experiencing issues with his teammates and management, the Bulls were looking for a replacement for Horace Grant. As a result, the Chicago Bulls made what was, in retrospect, one of the most lopsided trades in league history. In 1995, when they exchanged their backup center, Will Perdue, for Dennis Rodman, Rodman and the Bulls were the only ones who benefited from this situation, which is a fortunate turn of events. During his time with the Chicago Bulls, Rodman would go on to have an immediate impact and average between 5.4 and 11.3 points per game throughout the course of his 3 seasons there. But what's even more noteworthy is that from 1996 to 1998, he was a member of the Michael Jordan and the Windy City team that won the three-peat for the second time. Following his trade from the Spurs, he was able to bring his personal total of NBA championship rings to 5. Shaq heads to South Beach. After being moved from the Lakers, the 7'1" Shaquille O'Neal promised the city of Miami that he would deliver them a championship, which he did in 2006. Important turning points for the future of the Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat occurred in the summer of 2004. Before being dealt a gentleman's sweep in 2004, the Los Angeles Lakers had won 3 rings in a row. There was a lot of friction in the locker room after the legendary tandem of Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal had finished their careers together. The executive office had to make a difficult decision between a superstar guard in his 9th season and a dominant 7'1" big in his 12th. The Lakers eventually agreed to continue to do business with Kobe and cut ties with Shaq. Shaq didn't expect this to happen, but decided to take on the new challenge and now teamed up with Miami Heat superstar guard Dwayne Wade. He and Kobe had on-court disputes in Los Angeles. It was here that he made the decision to step aside and allow Dwayne Wade to take the lead while he played a more supportive role. As soon as he came to Miami, the first thing he did was promise the city that he would help them win their first championship. He delivered his promise 2 years later after beating Dirk Nowitzki's Dallas Mavericks 4-2. The Los Angeles Lakers struggled to get past the first round of the playoffs after Shaq was traded. They definitely missed the interior presence of their big superstar on the court. The arrival of Pau Gasol to the Los Angeles Lakers shifted the dynamic. In a February 2008 trade that included Kwame Brown and Pau's younger brother Mark, the Los Angeles Lakers acquired Pau Gasol from the Memphis Grizzlies. LA eventually lost in the NBA Finals, but bounced back to win back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010 thanks to a dominant performance from Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol. Gasol was nearly as good, if not better, than Bynum. He switched seamlessly between positions. When he was on the court with Bynum, he played power forward, but when he played alongside LeVar Odom, who could play several positions, he fell to the center position. Gasol was always there to help the Lakers score when they were down, either by shooting mid-range shots, close to the basket, or face-up jumpers. Kobe Bryant could not have gotten back to the top of the basketball world without Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol was the missing piece. Now it's time for the last segment of the video, which features Kawhi Leonard and his epic championship run with the Toronto Raptors. When the Claw was a member of the San Antonio Spurs in 2014, he helped end the reign of LeBron James and the rest of the Heat's Big Three. As a result of his efforts, he was named the most valuable player of the NBA Finals, which helped establish him as one of the elite forwards in the game. On the other side, Leonard got dissatisfied with the way the Spurs organization dealt with the quad injury that he sustained during the 2017 playoffs. During the offseason of the 2018 NBA season, the San Antonio Spurs decided to trade Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green to the Toronto Raptors in exchange for DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a first-round draft pick. This decision was made despite the wishes of the former Spurs star player who was no longer satisfied with his situation with the team. Despite the fact that Kawhi Leonard didn't particularly want to go to Toronto, he managed to adjust quickly and guide the Raptors to the franchise's first ever title. In the process, the Raptors overcame Eastern Conference rivals like the Orlando Magic, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Milwaukee Bucks, including the epic, iconic, and historic game-winning jumper in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Philadelphia 76ers, who had players like Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and JJ Redick. But more significantly, The Claw would also help prevent and upset the Warriors' attempts to win a three-peat in the NBA Finals. He did this by averaging 28.5 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game to win his second NBA Finals MVP award. During the offseason, Leonard was a free agent but decided not to renew his contract with Toronto, instead choosing the Los Angeles Clippers. Unfortunately, Kawhi had a serious injury that needed surgery in July to repair the partial tear of the anterior cruciate ligament, or ACL, in his right knee. This sidelined him for several months, and now it appears Leonard's health has totally recovered, as he suited up at a recent NBA game, although he decided not to start. Kawhi Leonard ended up finishing the game as the Clippers beat the Los Angeles Lakers. Leonard scored 14 points to help his team win 103-97. The odds look fairly good that the Claw might return to his superstar caliber style of play soon. We hope you enjoyed the video topic today.
Subscribe to our channel, Full Court.
For more interesting basketball topics.